he's got a Reaper's Scythe too, so anyone he can gank up when he jumps in.
They do have an answer in the TB Thunder. It just takes that one play. We saw it once. And
There's the smoke finally. So J Storm, their time to go. So either they go inside of Roshan, which is difficult because the Dominator creep has currently got a Wild Wing Ripper Tornado sitting inside of it.
Usually in life, the first mover has an advantage, but in this game, I would strongly favor whoever's defensively positioned. It is so tough to team fight into either of these lineups.
That's a great conversion from Enigma. He can just get rid of that Observer up on the hillside, but there's the wraparound. In through the rear, they're going to see MP to start with, but he blinks away. They don't get the initiation onto him, and so it's going to be the Crystal Maiden. Definitely not the target they want. Now DJ, also hard to kill. Ice. BKB will trigger. He'll get the black hole, but he only gets the Ogre Magi. This is not what he wanted. A black hole was stolen. Rubik is there, ready to go, wondering where the Meepo is. Arbed so far has decided not to jump in, but now he's got the pending blink black hole of the Rubik looming over his head if they want to try and contest Roshan.
That was like they just didn't identify the right target, because if Shaker hasn't entered the fight, Abed needs to know where he is, and he'll just go straight for him. But he was still under cover of smoke as that fight began. March doing his job, what he does best, walking into the team fight, just total berserker style, make space. They kill jabs off to the side, one smack of the totem, and March then stops the DJ blink for him, chases him out of the fight, and Ice, he tries to respond, but he only gets a black hole on March. That's part of March's plan, that's his trap card.
It's what the Ogre is meant for. He's thick, he's dumb, but he'll tank it. And Rubik, it's the fact that he just has this. He has this black hole. Jabs up in the tree lines, Brown's gonna stun him up, so say goodbye to your freezing field and say goodbye to your Crystal Maiden. I don't know if he was trying to push out or what exactly was the objective to be had by this Crystal Maiden, but they gave another kill over towards this ES, who was rapidly approaching his own BKB, and we'll see this fight once again. So here's March running in, and Necro jumps away, Crystal Maiden's out of position.
Look at where Abed is. Abed is just trying to engage, but Necro was forced to blink out. Ice just really has to get out of dodge here, but he's trying to turn around the fight. But as you can see, Abed, he has no intention of joining this fight. The moment they lose one and he sees that the Necro's blinked out, DJ's in trouble, you can't really engage this fight. Meepo is more of a hero that you enter fights that are already won and you make them total routes. It's difficult to turn it around when at this point you're up against multiple BKBs now. Rubik's got black hole. All of a sudden,
he's got upgraded black hole. He just finished the Aghanim after 32 minutes in. This is what we're talking about. Like, Meepo hits level 25, great. He did go the plus 600 health, but he becomes his own worst enemy. DJ's in the trees, J Storm is on the hunt. But DJ's TP out will be successful as J Storm checked the wrong direction.
And this is like peak Meepo, as we've been saying. Like, he's going for a second E-Blade just to max out on the stat gain, his damage output. But as far as his team fight effectiveness, this is as good as it gets. You're level 25, you've got Blink Hex, Blink E-Blade, you're ready to go. But J Storm, you're still good in this game. I can't believe it, honestly. Like, they've...
Hey, the Kyle curse?
If they somehow pull this off, it's got to be real.
This is the positive way of having a Kyle curse. You actually get yourself a fantastic game. A Meepo with 22 to 23,000 net worth. He is still a good 5K above anybody else, but he just can't carry this game any harder. And so far, like, in the last two big engagements from the teams, it feels like MP is a non-factor. Like, he wants to jump in and get that Reaper Sight, needs someone to combo with when he does it. Okay, great, but...
Yeah, and J Storm, you have 3 BKBs on all your cores now. Meepo doesn't crush through you like a hot knife does cheese anymore.
You're good.
You're getting on high. Man,
Oh, Kyle, you're unique.
Glyph pops. This is good. J Storm, you can go here. Meepo has not applied enough pressure to the top tower, and he really can't because you're afraid of that Earthshaker who's off the map to the side.
Yep, and ES is walking around with a cheese, and it's Terrorblade with the Aegis, the Immortal, so they're already feeling pretty good. Crystal Maiden stunned up, and he moves uphill to get the hit. DJ, he's held the front lines, jabs, there's Ryle jumping in for the kill secure. Crystal Maiden couldn't get away from this, and Moo, you'll use the Sunder back up to full life, but he's still got the Aegis, the Immortal, and Meepo, Abed's not really pressuring the top lane. Bottom lane, he's ready to jump. In a couple of seconds, the Fissure, the arrow will not be able to follow up into Ice. It really wasn't ready for the Fissure to connect on that.
I'd like to see J Storm be a bit more aggressive. They still have meta for a few more seconds. I want them to at least get tier 3.
It's like 2 seconds they got meta for. Ignite through the back. Enigma has to blink away from that one because he'll just have his blink on cooldown for so long. Tier 3 tower will fall for Rev. Some damage into the range racks. It's the sustained damage that cannot be regenerated. But they'll back up underneath their Observer Ward. Now time to finish up the Shrine.
They won't have meta again before Aegis pops, but you have a Scotty on Terrorblade now, and the burst damage from Fnatic, you have the potential, but man, they lost Enigma Black Hole in the Rubik as well. I would have liked to see them position a bit more aggressively once they killed that CM. They might be able to get racks, but...
You know what he's going to look for now? It's just going to be the Reaper's Scythe with... it's like you got the Aghanims upgraded one too.
Yeah. A lot of pressure on Ice to make a play here because he's the real answer to the Moo TB now.
Well, he's wrapped around the side, but you can see Munch, as you said, doing his job. Looking up the hills a little bit too late. Now the jump in. They go instantly onto the Ogre. Moves their Raider off the rumble. Reaper side does come down and kill off Munch.
They saw it. They saw it.
Worth of a death. And no, it was Death Pulse. He got the Death Pulse only.
It's well played, though, by MP. You can't give away sight in this game. Not only is it the cancel of the Enigma Black Hole, but it's just so much damage in that respawn duration.
I like how Ice is getting the Lincoln Sphere too. Like, he could have been looking at Refresher, he could have been looking at this kind of stuff as we've seen him do previously. But instead it's Lincoln's. You've got to block the seal some way.
Yeah, and there's no way to cancel it through BKB unless they want to Sunder into Rubik's Steel, so definitely the right choice here. Whenever you're in a position as Enigma to ensure your black hole is uninterruptible, I think it's always a safe bet that you can itemize for it.
It's timed out now, the Aegis the Immortal. Jab's is already establishing vision for an aggressive play for Fnatic. He's got 2 observers and 3 sentries. But look at the line, the box that's being drawn right now by Millen. He knows exactly where they are. They're pushed in the bottom lane. No one's there to defend it instantly, but I bet he'll break his smoke. And now they know, but top lane, that black hole. Oh boy, that's what they wanted. ENS is down. Same with the Mirana. What have we got for a steal? It's only going to be a tree toss. Fnatic, they just waited for it. And they got the right time. Now you push, now you force buyback.
Yep. I mean, that just, they know they're there.
Abed jumping in, looking for Millen. He was just shot over. He'll hit the earth fine, but the double buybacks will arrive. Thanks to this, will move. Well, actually, blink, Echo Slam, straight forward. Bryle, the controller down. Meepo, he's going to go down. He E-blades, so they can't actually attack into the weakened Meepo, but it won't stop Move from beating through another one. So Meepo will fall. Crystal Maiden will join him as well, dying next to his tier 2 tower as Ice completes his TP out. The buybacks were committed, but they did get the big one. They did kill off Meepo.
True, but you've also now given Fnatic a win condition. If you can kill Bryle again, as we've seen time and time again, Abed's only threat is that Shaker. You got, they're in such a fine position. They walk out of base to defend a tier 2. Just no need for that. You can see just the immediate buyback. There was actually a long TP from the Shaker. This might have been even better for J Storm, but it's a 5-second TP. You still have time to get to Abed. I'm surprised he poofed all in. If he had maybe kept on the outside or ran right, something like that, it's just difficult.
And now it's J Storm's turn to try and force some level of issue.
They want to force buyback on Meepo. It's very important. They don't have meta, but that's still a bloodlusted Terrorblade. He wrecks buildings.
Dire's middle tower has fallen.
And up through the mid. Creep wave's already arriving, and J Storm, they're slipping in through the bottom. Their sentry wall is down on either side, but they want to take the racks. Force back a Meepo buyback. He'll be more concerned about the racks. As, well, DJ, he couldn't clean through the illusion to try and get a toss back. In fact, I don't know what he actually tossed. It died instantly. Instead, it's just DJ who'll die. They take the bottom melee racks, exactly what J Storm wanted, and they get out.
And they have a nice arcane rune bottom. I hope Bryle, he could actually, I guess you could pick it up on the Shaker. I was thinking maybe you save it for your Terrorblade, but that's fine. Moo almost has enough gold to finish Butterfly and have buyback, and then he'll be pretty much capped out. He's even now with the Meepo. So we were talking about damage output and J Storm having problems. This is the stage of the game where their draft peaks. You said, I don't like Terrorblade Ogre as an opener either, but hey, when you get to 40 minutes in an even game,
sure, enjoy it.
Hell yeah.
But now the Lincoln Sphere is also on the Enigma, so Stolen Black Hole is very, very difficult unless they get that initial jump stun. March, he's dropping his sentries. He brought a lot because they lost the gem as well in the previous fights.
Yeah, that was the other thing. They've had the illusion of confidence because 4F had that gem, but immediately black holed by Ice, who has to make another big play. He's got that Linken's. You cannot interrupt black hole unless you do some crazy Sunder shenanigans, but we'll see. He's got to get the Terrorblade like we've been talking about. You have a big issue with your Meepo. It's cool, right? Because you have Shaker that answers Meepo, Enigma that answers TB. And that's really all the teams have to deal with these very...
This is a really good spawn time for J Storm as long as they can watch Roshan. The catapult will come in. Leave the illusion, March. Leave the illusion. It's got 5 seconds before Roshan spawns. Enigma conversions are coming down as well to have a look for it.
The refresher shard as well. How do you deal with a Shaker with 2 echoes and Enigma with 2 black holes? Game changing.
Roshan is alive, but J Storm,
they're smoked.
Yeah, they see the vision everywhere. They don't actually see it up on the hillside. Okay, now they do. Yep. Boom, boom. Knock it down. Fnatic actually have like their only observer and sentries that currently exist, and now behind where the tier, they're right back on top lane, almost at J Storm's base. The map is so dark and full of terrors.
It's difficult. You can't really walk up high ground. You can talk about the defensive team having an advantage. If you're J Storm here, this is a risky maneuver. You're
Roshan. Fnatic is so far away from it. They're not here to fight.
As long as March and 4F stay on this high ground, they'll be fine.
They did burn Metamorphosis to get this. They can't easily just chain out, but here comes Fnatic. They're rolling forward. Tiny, he's close. Mirana going to show herself, but BKB up. It's more of a distraction. Aegis Immortal is in the hand of Moo, and you've got the chase onto the Crystal Maiden from Forev. Doesn't see him, but the arrow! Ice actually tanked it, so a chance can survive.
That's no buyback.
Short range, 100 seconds on the sideline for a Mirana. This will waste a lot of time. Aegis Cheese and Refresher, however, did get into the hands of J Storm.
I love that first leap. I could see an argument for the second. The third one, at that point, you've made the space. Maybe it's time to turn around, but it's all good.
I've heard the phrase, third leap's the charm.
Yeah. And now you're in a position, if you're Fnatic, yeah, maybe you could threaten a bit, but you know the Terrorblade has Aegis.
But do you still go it? Like,
probably get a tier 2.
Mirana is down. You know her buyback because it's on cooldown. It was not a question of money. They know it's not there. So it's a 4v5. As long as Fnatic keep their positioning good, they've got the BKB black hole and Ice.
You were talking about wards. They would prefer to fight in this area while that high ground ward to their left is still standing.
But they don't have that creep wave on top. Like, Arbet just sent a couple of Meepos up there to deal with it. But that's Moo. They think it's probably an illusion, but that's the real one. He's almost using it like it is an illusion.
Yeah. Bear in mind that Necro has a Radiance, so every reflection mid-fight limits the amount of damage a Meepo can deal physically. Oh, they might try and toss
the
it
other
back.
way too, right? Like Terrorblade trying to beat through it.
I think Fnatic could have made a play there. Moo was standing out in front of his tower for a few seconds.
Now they're going to go bottom. That's a huge creep wave coming in. The Meepo has to clean this up, but it's also not the hero you want to have this on. Like, okay, Arbet's going to get a little bit more money so he can buy up the BTs, but at what point do you sit there saying, well, we actually need to start pumping money into everybody else?
Well, this is no longer the phase of the game Meepo thrives in. They wanted to close this game out earlier, but J Storm's done a great job controlling the pit. They've got every single Aegis.
Mirana was dead for how long? And now is back up with no real advantage for Fnatic.
It's tough. They need Aegis. Simply put, you can't contest J Storm as the aggressor at the moment because they've got the BKBs. They've got the Shaker now with the Refresher as expected. In March, just waddling in slowly, has a Glimmer Cape, 2,000 HP.
Tiny's getting into position so we can actually fight this. Like he's in the back lines. Shadowblade now going to be burnt. They want to try and find the initiation, but they need information to do it.
This is cool. Ice has a Dark Troll Summoner, so even if he gets the Rubik to steal on the Black Hole, he can cancel it himself with his HOD creep.
DJ jumps in. He's already going towards Moo. That puts him in very, very deep in the Echo Slam. It does heavy damage. Black Hole out from Ice, but it is stolen by Millen, and he turned it around. He actually cooked the Crystal Maiden in the tree line, so she'll fall as well. The Terrorblade is standing his ground to fight. Remember, he has the Aegis of the Immortal. He hasn't gone down yet, and this Terrorblade inside the Metamorphosis still doesn't want to die. There's another toss back. This time it's over on the Ogre after double buyback from Fnatic. They need to keep this solid defense going. And then they still can't get the kill. Finally, they're able to do it.
Abed's still ratting bottom, though. He's TPing a Meepo wave. He's going to look to poof in soon. He got the glyph already. He'll be taking bottom racks in a matter of seconds.
And he actually stopped his jump in.
Ooh.
He was TPing over, but he didn't complete it.
That's unfortunate. He would have 100% got at least the tier 3.
Yeah,
they
the rest of them are now arriving.
3 buybacks for a Rax, though. Definitely not worth, but...
Ogre's going to buy back too. Like he's going to be the one to defend it as J Storm want to go once again. They still have the Aegis on the Terrorblade. They have already used the Refresher Shard, so Braal's got a second ultimate ready to rock and rumble. He just needs a target to do it on. And Ice presents himself for half a second. No black hole for him. How did we actually get through? Did he not burn the BKB?
On her. No, he got the Sunder. The Sunder actually canceled the Lincolns.
Okay.
Which, and still somehow Mu preserves his Aegis. He was just fighting at 180 HP, cleans up both kills, thanks to the great ultimate response by Milan. Bear in mind, it's all about the Aegis. It's fading in 45 seconds. They will not have meta up once again. And as long as this game continues, it's still anybody's ball game because both cores, or both teams rather, have cores capable of getting megas in a 1 minute window, let alone a 2 minute respawn like these level 25 heroes rather will soon have.
J Storm are just moving into rune control now. Fnatic, they're just looking to come outside their own base. This is what they would like. Luckily for them, they still have that stolen gem to get rid of any aggressive vision that J Storm have, but the 45-minute bounty runes are up. You wait for the next Roshan time, 3 minutes before he can potentially respawn. That's a very long time for Fnatic to sit inside their base. At least the Meepo can keep doing split pushes, because he keeps just TPing out and then sending his Mantra illusions to push in the lane. And it's always bottom. He always is trying to push out the bottom lane again.
You can see both teams just afraid, but still J Storm able to output more pressure on the map just because they're the team with the Terrorblade, not a Meepo. The next big clash is going to be for Roche. We'll respawn anywhere from 2 to 5 minutes from now.
They're pinging out move. We just realized that no one took the bounty runes on bottom lane. With Meepo's pressuring, he probably thought they were both gone. Yep.
I like this decision. You want to be cutting this wave because Meepo can only maintain presence down here if there's a creep. And if you clear them out, all of a sudden, they're going to be fully locked in the Fnatic base. And that's what you want to make sure you can do here as J Storm.
You have a BKB on the Rubik.
That's...
Oof. Yeah.
I like how both the Rubik and Enigma itemize for black holes. Like, they understand what they gotta do.
This is exactly the way we had our game previously. It's like, oh, okay, if I hit this, we should be able to win it. But it's also the telekinesis land distance, so it's a long pick and grab back. We've already seen Tiny being really effective in some situations for Fnatic, but just that reposition. But telekinesis does pretty much the same thing now.
Well, they saw that
smoke up. That was right underneath the Dire Obs and Sentry.
And they're going to go camp the high ground where they know they have sentries and a ward of their own. Fnatic, they're set up nicely.
There's the
J Storm walk in.
The scan to confirm it too, and it will be the Ogre. He pings it, so they are fully aware. DJ's under the cover of his own Shadow Blade. Is they going to put a sentry a little bit closer? Moonlight Shadow as well from J Storm.
Looking for a toss back.
They're underneath the sentry ward. They have to know there's so much information, so Forever will reveal himself for half a second.
They want to look to pre-click a scythe onto one of these targets, preferably Forev.
It's Millen. See him, they actually Lincoln Spear at the back. He's Lincoln Speared up because the black hole's back off cooldown.
They're under dire wards though. They
just off back. They found their target. Moog going to BKB very, very quickly. Reflection turned on. They just focus onto the range ranks to begin with. They're still trying to keep this Rubik in a very threatening position. And he kind of is. And Ogre is the only one on the front lines that can go on. But that's not the target they wanted to actually connect. Hits Necro sent committal. They need to get back out again. Fortification's been burnt. Necro has buyback to Barbel. And now the jump. DJ gets the toss back. And it's onto the Hex up for Rev. Abed won't try to finish the job, but he didn't do it just yet. Now the black hole is picked up. Terrorblade eyes for the bigger one. The return from Rubik. The real Enigma. Middle level double kill. Buybacks now. Thick and fast from both sides. Baran is back up, but 3 heroes there from Fnatic. It's all up to Abed to repel the J Storm invaders. He's invis with Glimmer Cape. He taunted and went the other direction. He's TPing out of this entire fight. Ogre will not be able to do so, however. He knows he has to die for this cause. But my God.
Keep in mind, now 3 heroes dead. They all have buyback, but Meepo can move out on the map very quickly and look to possibly make some plays. 4 have no buyback down in the bottom lane, but you've got to be afraid if you're Abed. You know there's no echo, but your Meepo still die just to the damage and stun combination of these heroes. And my god, what an Enigma hole.
Which one? Which one do you want to go on? The Rubik's, okay.
That was great. That was a treat to watch. And
they knew it, though. They knew it. Like, that Lincoln Sphere got completed up on Mirana just before the fight was even beginning, and you're going to see it right now.
The key is that they committed their BKBs early enough that they pushed Fnatic back and ensured they would get the racks no matter how this fight went. And yeah, Milan turns this around, but it could have very possibly been a few more casualties for J Storm, if not for that big turnaround. But they would have got the objective, and that's critical because they just need that one more for Megas, and it's so hard to come back from Megas with a draft like Fnatic's.
Yep. Still cannot believe it. Like, you actually almost had a 4-man. Like, it was so close to Ice that you're being dragged into this as well. And now you look towards the next Roshan. Critical moment, 22 seconds away from spawn time. The couriers are trying to scout him out. Poor little courier. He's still got a shield available, so juke it up. Juke as hard as you possibly can. Get over the trees and away from Abed. He's trying to earthbind it.
And you could see as well, Abed really didn't have any presence in that fight until all the BKBs and the black hole were expended. The only way he can initiate without an Aegis is that he gets something tossed back into his Hex. And that's what happened, and that's why 4F died, but the Terrorblade is the real threat. He's finishing a Daedalus. He is 6-slotted.
But if Ice can control him, you have double black hole. Refresher Orb is completed on the Enigma. Roshan has just spawned up. Everybody has everything available, apart from Rubik not having already stolen black hole. That's the only difference in this fight. So Fnatic, they smoke. They're looking for the opportunity. Anything they can find. J Storm are pretty much together apart from March. He's back at the base at the moment. Trying to walk back out. The direwall scan. Looks like Bra's going to actually get... he's going to trigger it. DJ looks for a Bra very quick on the blink away. Dodges the attack of Fnatic. The smoke will fail.
The big target for Fnatic, other than the Terrorblade, if they can find him with no cost to themselves, is 4F. He has no buyback.
They took the dominated creep out, so no more easy scouting.
Game completely even at 51 minutes in. You can see it. Be damned. They don't mean anything in a game with all the map control these teams can export.
How many E-Blades does it really get before it's getting ridiculous? That is now the 3rd E-Blade over on Abed.
What else do you buy, though? That's the thing. You're a Meepo. You get stats. You kill buildings, heroes.
What have happened to the old days? It's like, we're just going to start stacking Scardies onto the Meepo or something like this. Not even a butterfly. Doesn't even want that. Well, Frostbite over on the Ogre. Moot is working on it. He's down too far. The Echo Sound. They want to kill off the Enigma straight away. They have the damage. Now you'll go for the black hole. Dylan's got the space and he's got the black hole as well. Ice is down for 2 minutes. He has nothing left to give apart from the refresh roll, but on bottom lane, Abed pushing in. He's taking the tier 3 towers. They're pretty heavily split up. Abed, black hole! Baron's got him. Martin's there to follow up. They're just going to hold him in position. The multicast stunts and the Brile. He is there. The ES, the arrow will connect as well, and they've got the kill. Meepo is down. Buyback is available. Roshan is alive and kicking, but Fnatic, how many team fights can go this way for J Storm? It's meant to be Fnatic's.
Ice cannot ult there. That's the 2nd time he wastes an ultimate, which usually isn't so bad, but you're giving it away to an Ags Rubik. You can't do that.
Hey, the bright side, Millen's going to have that on cooldown for 2 minutes. He can't use the black hole again in the next engagement. So J Storm actually need to delay the fight before they engage again. And now the job, DJ actually pulling out for F. Leap away, get the hell out of dodge for the Reaper's side. That will kill him. 165-second death timer. And you know where Fnatic will go. They need to take Roshan. They need to get this Aegis into Abed.
That was the only hero on J Storm that couldn't die. The only one. And now you're going to be 4v5ing. You have to try and defend this. You won't have black hole, as you said. You have no Mirana for 2 minutes.
Echo Slam's got 18 seconds now on the counter.
Look at DJ.
Moo, a little bit further out. MP doesn't have another read beside, but DJ, as you said, walking forward underneath the Observer and Sentry. Miller will pick him up and toss it back down again. That gets us done over to Necro, not to mention the follow-up Avalanche. They just try and control and Moo's got his own BKB, but they want DJ dead. He's now down for 110 seconds. Ice was ready to jump in and force it all over again, but he BKB'd and then blinked away. Could not find the target he wanted. And now, as Terrorblade takes the life of Ogre, they go in towards Roshan. Ogre will say hello, gets a multicast done over on the Necro, 4 times cast on him. The Glimmer keeps trying to get him out of dodge, plus the 4-star out. Moo is doing Roshan, still 2 heroes left by the side. Ice wants to come over, but the BKB being on cooldown, he's so timid about it. He doesn't want to go for the jump black hole just yet. Necro's nearby, now you jump in, you'll set the rub, the black hole, he'll tap down Moo, but then in through the back lines, Millen, he'll end up cancelling it as well as the CM ulti. It's a telekinesis that did the work. Buyback out from the Terrorblade. Roshan still low at 1.8k. They need more time, they need more life, Fnatic needs more people, more abilities, and they got none of it. They have to let Roshan go.
I don't understand, they're so timid. Why are they so timid? You know you have black hole. The enemy side does not. Necrophos.
Oh, and they're gonna do double black hole. They gave the refresher shot to the Rubik. So he'll have a double black hole in the next engagement.
And he re-stole that from Ice, so he's going to have that for the full duration of the steal. You know there's no buyback on Tiny. You know there's no buyback on Necro if you kept the timer.
I still can't believe it was his telekinesis that canceled both black hole as well as freezing field, the 2 major abilities Fnatic needs for the team fight.
And they have Aegis on move, so that buyback didn't matter. And you know, Abed's got nothing left.
He's trying to push the bottom lane out. He's sending his meepos down there, but they just rip apart the mid. You know it's a great game when you're not even going to give a refresher shot over towards the Terrorblade. No double metamorphosis. They just go through the mid ranks. They look towards the tier 4 towers as well. There's no buyback on the Necro. Black Hole's down for another 64 seconds on the Enigma.
He's trying to save. He's going to have to refresh. He will not have time.
They're smoking up. Abed, how hard do you push the bottom? Your Dire Ancient is already being completely pounded. Ice blinks in with a BKB. He is just fading it out. Fallen! He hit him! Ice with the hole, but he gets it, but it's just the wrong way inserted. Fnatic, they're losing everybody, and this will be the Dire Ancient going down. Meepo is trying to do the best he possibly can back in the Radiant base, but not. J Storm takes game 1. The curse is alive. Thanks, Kyle. Thank you. Thank you so much.
I got no words for this one, Tobes. I mean, wow, what a hell of a game from J Storm. That was a treat to watch. I don't really know